What's going on, guys? So today on this SHOKY review, we're going to take a look at another HG Gundam The Origin kit, and it is of course the Gouf prototype, or prototype Gouf tactical demonstrator. Yay! It's of course from, like I said, the Gundam The Origin line from HG, and it is actually an Origin MSD kit. And on the front here we have a great shot of the Gouf doing what Goufs do, and that just blows stuff up. And, well, you can't really tell a whole lot what's going on, but I believe this is a gun tank right here. Yeah, it's definitely a gun tank. So is that. So it's really tearing through things. Now, I don't know if we've seen one in Origin, because I haven't actually caught up on all the Origin OVAs yet, but it is what it is. And, of course, you got Bandai 2015 right down there. Principality of Zeon prototype mobile suit. This guy does actually have some cool stuff to it. It is a YMS-07B-0. Yay! Alright, so we come to this side, and you've got obligatory front and rear shots there. You get a little bit of a read up along with another little image there, and what I assume is supposed to be Rambavral. Could be wrong, but you got MS-06F, you got the YMS-07, YMS-07A, all the things right through there. And of course, this was before they started putting things in English to make life easy for us. And you got a little read up there on Gundam the Mobile Suit Discovery Origin stuff, and some nice images there of the Gouf. And you got GundamTheOrigin.net. Gundam-the-origin.net. Is what it is. Alright, come around this side, and we got HG Gundam The Origin, BandaiHobby.net. All the same stuff, repeat of box art. And it is number 4 in the line, by the way. And of course, you come to this, you get action poses there with the big whip thingy and arm cannony thingy. You've got gimmicks, you've got markings, you've got arm attachments, you've got weapons, all the weapons. You get warnings right there. Don't stick a Gouf prototype in your 3-year-old's eyes because it will blind them. And you've got 1,800 yen down here. Nice affordable kit. And illustration is by Yuta Otani at Planeta. Yay. So, prototype Gouf. Prototype upside down. Is what it is. Let's go ahead and get this guy out here. There's no build montage for these. I'm just kind of trying to get through a lot of builds lately, and doing a build montage just takes a little bit more time. So, we'll have one again sometime soon. And guys, here we have the Gouf out here, totally done. And honestly, guys, I'm really getting tired of blue suits for right now. This is going to be the last, like, solid blue that I'm going to do for a while, because I did, like, the Blue Destiny, the Gypsy Avenger, the Bugu, and now this guy. So, it is what it is. I mean, we've looked at a Gouf or two, on this channel, and being a prototype version, he does look pretty cool. He definitely has some unique stuff going on here. The chest is a lot different. The head is a little bit different. You've got what clearly is like prototype for futuristic or future weaponry with the like hand launchers there, and then whatever the heck is happening on this side. You do get your quintessential hoses that you get from any good old Zeon suit, and same thing there on the legs. And being a MSD Origin kit, plenty of stickers, including the weird kind of faded eye sticker for that in there. Of course, it comes with like a more metallic reflective one. I think in future I might use those. This one's not bad. I kind of dig the effect, but there's too much reflection around it. You also get lots of markings and warnings and such all over this. It took me quite a while to do all the stickers, though. As it goes, the kind of more stripy aspects of a Zeon suit, they weren't that bad. And this guy definitely obsessed with the number 31, because they're on both feet, like they're sneakers, apparently. And you got one, of course, up here on the shoulder. You did have to do a little bit of paint work. So these little spots here on the shoulder armor all needed to be painted gray, with my favorite dark gray ever. Same thing here on the chest. And it's not a whole lot more than that. I did the snout as usual right in there, just because that's kind of obligatory. I thought about going ahead and coloring in the actual cannons, barrels there, but I resisted it. But I did do just right in there, and just a little along there to kind of just make it is what it is. But just real quick, let's bring out the previous goof we did. And there we have the R35 goof. And you can actually see a size difference because I believe this is more revive based than this. This is old goof technology, so to speak. And some of the construction was definitely similar, but you could see the major differences not just in the details, but in the engineering as it was built. But still very cool. I have two completed goofs in my collection, although I wish this guy had some swords. Pull this out of here. And we'll look at the last blue suit, last MSD origin kit we just did. And there's your Bugu. Now I like this blue a little bit better. I wish this was a darker blue. But I guess prototyping being what it is, you gotta do what you gotta do. Now just real quick, we will go over articulation, and then I'll do all accessories and weapons and stuff like that. So the head is just ball joint mounted, though I'm trying to, I think, no, it's ball joint here, but then it is that kind of cool origin double jointed, hinged, I should say, hinged neck joint. So he can turkey neck, he can rotate, although because of the large snout and things, he can't turn too far. The shoulders are nice because they can actually, where the polycaps are, can butterfly up. If you finagle the shoulders a little bit, you can really get a heck of a shrug. You can also open and close this outer chest part, very much like the Bugu could. There's actually a ton of similar engineering in this, almost the same kind of joints and runner system there. The shoulders actually do rotate inside here. That's a newer kind of Xeon deal for that. So the shoulder itself can hinge up and down and then also move up there on that. The armor does flip-flop just like the Xeon kits do. So if you really want to crank it up a notch, you can do that. Just, you can do whatever you want on that case. You do get bicep rotation. You get double jointed elbows for a little bit better than 90 degrees, though the big fat forearm does get in the way. No rotation here because of, details and reasons, but you do get a ball joint here for this part. The interchangeability of parts and weapons that are coming up later really does hinder some, and I just mean just a little bit of articulation, but the gimmick itself is pretty cool. You do get ab crunch, so you can tilt him way up like so, can go back. He does rotate just a little bit, but the armor and the hoses limit it. Oh, I forgot I did paint right there in the center with those hose designators right through there. These skirts are all flappy like so. The hips do have that kind of slide forward hip joint. Doesn't feel like moving, and I'm not gonna force it. So it does. The whole hip section will rock forward. I'm just not gonna mess with it. We can get an okay Jean-Claude, nothing too spectacular. He can kick forward about that far before the armor gets in the way. He can kick back that far. Back skirt doesn't go anywhere. Thigh rotation, as you do. Big, chunky, double jointed knee for a little bit better than 90 degrees. Looks pretty good. Plus, I like this big knee armor. That's pretty cool. Foot is basically a Xeon foot. You get a little bit of a toe hinge down here, and then the obligatory ankle rocker this way, forward, back. So it's a pretty big, chunky, good foot. So, yay. I mean, it's about as articulate as an Origin Xeon suit can be. I mean, the only way it could get a little bit better is if it had the geared eyes system, but apparently that doesn't exist on enough kits, let's just be honest. So, I would almost just trade that for maybe a little bit of wrist articulation. Get some eye articulation without having to physically move the eye inside the head. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and do the weapons and gimmicks for this guy. And, well, he's got a few. And first and foremost, just real easy, is the shield. Obligatory kind of goof shield. Some nice stickers. This guy came with some alternate stickers that there were no instructions on how to place them. So I just went with the ones in the instructions. And this is literally just a three-piece little guy here. You know, he's just got the elbow mount, which you can use on either arm. It just comes around behind right here and tabs in, clips on fairly nice, so you really shouldn't have to worry about it. And it does do that number. Can rotate right there. He does have a he does have a second peg hole right there, but I don't know if that's supposed to be for a handle or what. They don't really talk about it, but apparently you can do the shield in a couple positions if you like. Now this arm, let's tilt the camera back up a little bit. This arm, as we looked at before, is just the kind of finger guns, finger bazookas, finger cannons, whatever you want to call them. They do rotate like so, minor ball joints, so you can just point and kill the thing that's over there. But on this side, we have what is basically a big whip holster kind of deal. And a lot of times the goofs will have a hidden whip up underneath their hand on the right hand. And in this case, we get an entire arm that's like that. Almost looks like a pile bunker or something like that. It's kind of funny. I like that this was molded already in another gray. I didn't have to paint that. But this is the little stubby version of the whip, so when it's actually retracted. So that's pretty neat. Stop focusing on my hand and focus on the other thing. The stripe did not want to be applied properly, so it is what it is. Now, to make use of the rest of the whip, you may have to pull this whole thing out like so, because it is super hard to get that little nub out once it's in there. So if you can get a thumbnail in there, get it. If not, you need something to maybe push it out like so. And of course, you can take your extended full-on length whip, plug that in, and there you have the nice whip there. It's actually pretty cool. It is bendy. It is that soft plastic, but it's with the grooves in it, I guess it does allow it to bend, or maybe it's pre-impregnated with wire or something, but it does hold its form. It's pretty cool, so you can actually get some decent poses out of it if you want. It's a fun gimmick, and you know, a goof would be incomplete without such a thing. So get that out of the way. Now, one cool thing about this thing being a prototype goof is you do get the extra hands that can do other things. So you come up here, you just pop these little latches, so to speak, all three, all the way around. Oops, I just decided to peel sticker off instead of pop it. The back one is actually a significantly shorter latch, so just be careful on that. And it does just have an arm peg right there, so if you want to go ahead and add an actual kind of fist, you can do that. This one doesn't have any particular way to line up. You just line up your slots, and there you go. There's your goof with a normal hand, and it comes with a very dark blue kind of navy hand. It might need some gray or something, but that leads to other accessories, such as a heat hawk. Now this is a compacted version, the deactivated version as it were, and you plug that in to his hip, just like so, just like there was on the Boogu, and I'm sure it is on all the Zakus. But then you have the ignited or activated version, however you want to call it. Stay. And a heat hawk is a heat hawk is a heat hawk. So you just go ahead and slap that in his hand, and it is what it is. Though I've always felt that these heat hawks are significantly smaller than they should be, but maybe that's just me. I don't know. But the other thing you can do, you can just pull the fist out and put in a more expressive hand, which is pretty cool. And it does actually gain a little bit of articulation because it has a polycap wrist joint right in there. So he can now do a high teacher with that hand. Hi, my name is Gouf. So that's the only real hand they technically get. Now the cool thing is, this gimmick actually comes into play with something we took a look at a long time ago. Let me lower the camera just a bit. And it is the Origin mobile worker, or in this case, my custom tractor. So this uses the same kind of arm latching system. So if I want to come up in here, pull that off, come up here, hit all of the latches, which once again for the wrist or for the actual hand is not a significant thingy, but you can just swap that in like so, latch it down, and now you have a Gouf with a big loader claw. Or if you want to get a little funky with it and pop the shield off, you can swap out the left arm. Got to get that out of there. Pull that side off. And so you can see how that splays out a little bit. And you can take his pre-existing left hand, which is almost identical to the one we've already seen. And now you can get a totally different loadout for this Gouf, and that is actually very, very cool. So that's one reason why I got this guy, was I really wanted that swappability. I was hoping that Bandai would have actually made more stuff that could swap. However, I don't believe these can swap the same. I could be wrong though. They're a little different. That's the same size peg. Okay. Although the arm is so much smaller, it can't actually grip it. And that totally looks like a propane tank. Am I the only one who sees that? However, the Gouf right hand can work since it's the exact same as the ones that came off. So if you want to give him just a normal like right hand for slapping fools around, you can totally do that. Alright, so there's my Gouf loader, as it were. So that's pretty much it. This is actually a very cool kit, guys. I do only wish that it was a little bit more blue and that we came with more swappable arm gimmicks and maybe the eye moving gimmick. But other than that, it's actually a pretty sweet kit. I definitely would suggest it. So if you want to go back and look at all the other Origin stuff that I've done, or if you want to just check out the previous blue suits that I've looked at, which has been a lot lately, by all means go do that. But of course I want to thank my patrons as always, John, Andy, Steve, Kolby, and TheKrowSama. You guys are great as usual. If you want to become a patron or patroneer, right here on the screen, you can totally do that. If you want to help support the channel, you can totally do that right here by buying some of the SHOKY shirts. And of course the Lupus for Lupus contest at this point is over, but the merchandise store will continue on in the future after all of this is said and done, so that that can still generate money for a great cause. But that's it for this review of the HG Gundam The Origin prototype Gouf. And I will catch you guys on the next review. And remember, as always, keep on building.